Living abroad has taught me that I don't need a lot. I find myself moving away from wanting, or at least thinking I need certain things to add happiness to my life or to preserve my life altogether. And it's all about how we grow up. It's all about having a sense of direction that's been ingrained in us with or without our consent. So we come from an environment, I come from an environment where the basis of living, or the basis of feeling valued or feeling happy, is accumulating very materialistic things. It's having a lot of things that aren't necessary. It's having a lot of code, it's having a lot of clothes, it's having a lot of vehicles. It's owning property or being in a very expensive primary residence. It's having a lot of friends. It's being able to eat at luxurious places. Right? Stuff like that, you know? And obviously a lot of that, maybe most of that, is centered around having a lot of money, which money is always the means. And over this last year, guys, what I've realized is that I have to now reconstruct my thinking around that premise that I need more, I need a lot, and I need bigger things. And what we're not taught is, or what we kind of like dance around, what's indirectly shown is that most, if not all of those things, we think are assets. We think bring fortune, wealth of some sort, and true happiness to our life. But it's quite the opposite, almost exactly the opposite. All those things I mentioned are actually liabilities. Whether we pay it in cash, it's either or. Whether we pay it in cash or we get it through debt, loans, credit cards. Getting it through debt is worse, but both. When you talk about more like the social aspect, right? Being around family or having a lot of friends, right? That type of proximity or intimacy with other people, people think they need that. But that can show as a liability. We're socially draining, or at least socially consuming species. That's just what we are by nature. I'll remove socially. We just consume by nature, right? We procreate, we populate this world, we consume. But not understanding that too much consumption or so much consumption can actually work an adverse effect on your life. And that's what I've been realizing. I'll get into more the indirect stuff. The consumption or the needing to be liked on social media. The consumption of music, sports, and other entertainment that can distract or redact from what our personal needs are. Right? We don't think about it that way, So it's interesting, as I reflect, that's what I tend to always break it down to. It tends to always go back to less is more. At least for me. At least for me, less is more. Because you feel more free. I'm not saying being lonely and living on the streets, but less is more. Having that balance and being in control or having autonomy to choose your environment for a period of time where it doesn't drain you, at the least. To choose your friends, not just because you were born in an environment and your friends are just in proximity. We build or we die due to proximity and borders. But when we think about the bigger picture, life is about basic needs. All the other stuff is more of a balance. Everything else is more of a balance. When we have shelter, water, food, and a means of travel / transportation, everything else is a balance. And the longer you stay in an environment or different places where you start to see that, where you start to see that's the focus, it's gravy. It's gravy on one side because now you can adapt, unless you have the mind for it, to remove yourself from a lot of stuff, especially a lot of material and vain stuff. But it gets hard because, man, I've been doing this now for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. So there's where that reconstruction has to happen.